Hello and welcome to this ZENworks highlights on setting up ZCC Administrator rights to secure the zone. ZCC Administrator rights has a lot of flexibility. You can leverage ZCC administration for devices, bundles, and policy folders. The administrator rights, ease of assignments, can be anywhere from individually based to group based to role based, and also leveraging eDirectory and Active Directory groups to manage roles. Of course, the user source must be available for LDAP users to log into ZCC. The ZENworks Administrator rights can be done either in ZCC or ZMan commands, which is a command line utility. We'll show you both. They're very granular and they're specific to contexts of the zone. There's a great way to set up test areas as well for new administrators or training. ZCC Administrator rights logging is in the ZCC.log and the ZMan log and the service messages log. And these are found in ZENworks Home log. Also, some of the resources are the ZCM 2017 command line documentation. ZMan prompt will give you some help, and the ZCC help and online documentation right in ZCC. The question mark in the upper right hand corner of the pop-ups, as well as the help in the upper right hand corner for each page. And with this walkthrough, we're going to show you how to tailor your ZCC administrators for their rights and privileges, and the example will be to authorize system updates. We'll also show you the individual administrator, how it could be configured, and then administrator roles and groups for ease of administration. And then we'll show you the resources, documentation, and help screens. We'll show you where the login is for the ZCC and ZMan, and how to set up a new ZCC administrator and their test area in the zone. Let's have a quick walkthrough. We can see in our zone we have devices, policies, workstations. In our configuration, if we look at our administrators, we have a test group that has a few administrators in it. And then we have individual administrators. We also created some roles, so you can be very specific and assign groups or individuals to those roles. Let's look how this works. We have ZCC Admin, who's a part of the test group, and also has rights in bundles and contexts. Also is a system update author. Let's log out and log in as ZCC Admin 1. Go to Configuration, System Updates. Now we should be able to author these, but since they're not downloaded yet, I don't have that option. Okay, because it's not available for authorization. You can download from the Actions menu or from the command line. We can go over here and do a ZMan SUD, System Update Download, August 2017 PRU. We'll try and use that ZCC Administrator, but it shows there also is insufficient rights there as well. So let's go ahead and do it with the administrator. And we're playing with the August 2017 PRU because it's small and quick. So if we refresh, we can see it's downloading and preparing and awaiting authorization. Now, being logged in as ZCC Admin 1, I should be able to authorize this. Now it's ready to deploy. But I don't have rights for deployment because that wasn't given to me. So you can get very, very granular with your administrators. Let's log out and log in as administrator again. We have a user source configured, Digital Airlines. So we'll leverage that. We'll go to Administrators, create a new administrator group. It'll be based on the user source and at the same time it'll bring in those users. So we'll go to Digital Airlines, go to Flint Users. You can leave the import user members of each group as a view-only administrator immediately, checked by default, to bring in those users and the user group. This is a direct connection to your LDAP source, and the LDAP must be active for them to log into ZCC. If we log into our LDAP source and view, you can see Flint users. And the members. Now we can see Flint users is here. Fred, Pebbles, and Wilma. Now currently they don't have any right. We're going to put Wilma in the auth role for system updates. Now, yes, we've already authorized it. We'll go back in here. We'll go ahead and delete this. Okay, check for updates. Should come back in. We'll go ahead and download. And you can make a role that has system update, authorize, configure, and deploy all in one role, if that's what's necessary. And it's downloading. And it's downloaded. Let's log out. Log in as Wilma. Go to System Updates. We can then authorize. Okay. Let's log out one more time. Log in and delete this one more time. Now what we're also going to do is these are our help desk or desktop support role. Bundle rights are assigned for this role, but now we have to assign the context for those administrators and where they can actually manage those bundles in remote management. So we'll do human relations. We'll go into devices and the workstations. We can have them do corporate devices, and then any users they can remote control are going to be, let's say, for Flintstones. Now they're pretty much set for that role. The nice thing about roles is if I needed to change all of my admins to have a new context for, let's say, their bundles, I'd have to go into each one of these and edit, add in each context to each one of these. So we'd have to do another bundles rights, and we'd have to add a context. Let's say it's departments now. Give all the rights to each one of these individuals. Whereas with groups and roles, you reduce the administration. And the nice thing about this as well is you can go to your eDirectory tree, drop new users in Flint users, add them in to ZCC. And since this user group is already associated and they're a ZCC administrator, they'll be good to go for any roles that they're associated with. The other nice thing is you can set up your roles and admins through a script. So this is administrator create, this is role create, and this is role create with the rights. So if we were to run this script, Now notice each one of these has batch in front of them. So we can easily identify them as new administrators and different roles. It's going to ask me for the new admin password and the second admin password. And then it's going to create all of those assignments. So now if we refresh this, we'll see we have 2 more batch admin assignments. These are all created by batch. Capital A means all rights. The little a means you're going to assign rights specifically. Each one of these privileges or options for allow and deny has its own syntax. If you hover over them, you'll see what they entail. So let's say we wanted to get a listing of those particular roles. We can type zman RLL with the administrator and the password that has rights to run this report. And then the text name. We'll run this. And if we go into the directory here, ZCC admin roles. So now you have an idea of what your roles are. So if you had a test zone, you wanted to set up similar roles, you can easily do so and identify them right here using these commands. So there are a few ZCC Administrator resources out there. Let's go to Novell.com, documentation, ZENworks, and of course you can view the latest update right here. But we're going to go find ZMan in its command line utility PDF. You can go directly to ZMan. And you have all your syntaxes here for each of the different commands. And then you can also go and do ZMan. It will list out all the command syntaxes. Some are different between Linux and Windows. Okay, so if you wanted the help, for instance, regarding admin, you could do zman admin, and it will give you the syntax just for the admin. Being able to give rights, delete, add, so forth. The other way is as you're going through each one of these, if let's say you want to do an you're going to edit this. You're going to edit and you want to know what each one of these are. Select here. It has a nice comprehensive help about that specific pop-up. Those are some of the resources that are available. As far as the logging goes, go to ZENworks Home. Logs. And our ZMan will give us every ZMan command that we've put in. So if you notice, the last one was the ZMan batch execute creation .text, and here's the 14 lines that it did within there. Again, the ZMan SUD. So you can see the different issues that it might have. If there's any error codes, if it completed, if it failed, is all in the zman.log. And then if you looked in the ZCC, these have ZCC related activity done in the console. Checking for context, LDAP query for user sources, which is when we're adding users. It wants to make sure when we log in that it can pass through those credentials and those types of things. So these are all ZCC related logging. And then, of course, the final log is the service messages log. It too will have some activity we've done regarding setting up your zone. It has quick tasks in here. It has creating a role. If there's roles that we're creating, system update when we import our system updates. So here's the update one for ZENworks 2017. So something to keep in mind so you can track down if there's something going wrong. You don't have a separate test zone, so you want to set up a test area. So we're going to set up a test area. We have test devices under test. I have a bundle area where I have Paul as a new ZCC administrator. He's going to work all his bundles here. We're going to go ahead and say that he is the administrator. Batch ZCM admin 100. And we'll go ahead and use him here. Assign the rights. We're going to give him full bundle rights in that test area. Okay. Just as in his workspace. Okay. You can assign bundles, you can create folders, everything in there. All right. And we can make this a role if we wanted to, because then you just assign the context. We're also going to add, if let's say we wanted to do, we have those device rights, and we're going to allow him rights to those devices in the test area. Or you could be, okay. So now, without hurting anything else in the zone, he can actually create his own bundles in his workspace and test the devices. Let's log out and log in as batch ZCC Admin 101. Bundles, if I go into bundles, administration, let's say, I can't see any bundles in there. Can't see any bundles in there, right? Which is how we want it. But, and you notice we also can't create any either. That's all grayed out. But under the test area, Paul's workspace, actually I can't because I'm actually in his ZCC Admin 101. The assignments were to ZCC Admin 100. So somebody else cannot, batch. So somebody else cannot go into my play area. Now I can create new bundles, right? Go to devices. I can apply those bundles to these test devices. See that? Assign bundle. So I'm good to go. So having a test area using the ZCC administration rights is very powerful and can keep the zone secure and everybody functioning. Assignments can be very specific, so be sure to test all your roles, privileges, contexts, and assignments after they are assigned. There are different settings for each, as you can see, allow and deny. There's also the ability to have an unset right, as you notice here. If we edit this one, we can actually have an unset column. By having it unset, it allows it to inherit from another role or right setting to a group or a user. So be sure to test. ZCC takes the most restrictive right set, and so deny option, the right is denied for any administrator assigned that role, even if the administrator is granted that right elsewhere in ZENworks, so it trumps all. The only other thing that trumps all is assigning a user super administrator, but this gives that user carte blanche into your system and to be used with caution. Now you can see the flexibility of securing the zone with the administrator rights component of ZENworks Control Center. This concludes our ZENworks highlights on setting up ZCC Administrator rights to secure the zone.